As I've already announced, I'm now initiating a new project, Gemini Dialogues with the infamous astrologist. And this is in order to create opportunity to share the wisdom, perspective, experiences of the community. Getting other perspectives, different angles, different colors of the spectrum, bringing it all in. It helps us to have some depth and expansion in what we understand. So here is an initiative effort. And first we have a very special community sister, Donna. And as you listen, you will see why it certainly is beneficial for us to hear what others have to say, what they've experienced, and what wisdom they can share to expand our perspective. There's a lot that we can learn from every single person. I also want to hear from you out there. If there's something that you would like to share specifically in your own experiences or from an astrological perspective, spiritually overall, social topics, whatever the case may be, I would love to have a dialogue with you. And it's not about my voice, but it's about me amplifying your voice. That's what's most important. So please like, share, and subscribe. Also show support to Donna, and her YouTube channel is also listed throughout as you view. And reach out and connect, pour in. I also would like your comments, your input, your opinions, what you think, what you feel as you listen. Fill the comment section up with, your perspectives. That is where the value is at for all of us. So here we go. Gemini Dialogues, Donna. You heard?
I'm really looking forward to it.
I really love the topics that you're bringing up, and I'm hoping that I can offer some insights based on my perspective and what I've seen in my experience. I love what you do. I love your authenticity. I think you're amazing, and I'm so grateful that your voice is here.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Donna. I'm really appreciative of the feedback, and I know that I'm just one of many out there, who are just like me, which is, I'm sure is what draws us all together. That we all have the same intention in different ways.
Right.
Absolutely. Speaking of, please, share, give a, quick intro, Donna, the great. To the people out there. You gotta know who
I've worked my entire life to be able to express my authenticity, and that is one of the things that drew me to your content, is your authenticity that I value so much. And I am like many other women in the world that, you're brought up in an environment that you are in absolutely no control of. You're told and primed on how you should be, who you should be. And there's a whole lot of my very, very early childhood experiences and honestly beyond, where I can say that a lot of the things that were fed to me, I know were lies. They were truths that satisfied either my parents or so that I could fit into this box that society could digest. And I've found so many different things in my experiences, not only as a person, but as a social worker, as a parent, as a woman, that I have found to be just inconsistent with what I believe in and what I feel is true and what I know is true in my heart and my entire being.
Okay. There's where the revelation is at. Well, what you just said, it is a point that connects all of us.
Yeah.
You just described a common crisis that all of us are dealing with, is that we're finally coming around to the point in this universe where we have support behind us from the higher powers, from the higher authorities of heaven, that we're being given deliverance, so we don't have to conform to orders, infrastructures, ideals that conflict and contradict our nature. And I'm really interested in hearing more, about your thoughts, when it comes to that. What do you believe is on the other side of us braving that transition, from the conformity and realizing that there really is a full story to live out, if we could find the courage to be authentic, even though it might seem like a contradiction, even though it might mean, people thinking you're crazy, abandoning you,
Oh, I know.
What do you think's on the other side of that? What's your thoughts or ideas about that?
Absolute liberation and freedom. If we continue as human beings to allow others to squeeze us into boxes, to fill us with propaganda that does not allow us to fulfill our destinies, to be able to sleep at night with clean consciences. Just for me personally, I can't imagine to continue living life silent and questioning why there are so many people on this planet that are willing to believe the lies when they are so apparent, who are unable, even in our education system, books are being banned. We are not allowed to see history. It's almost like the Bible. We take history, some guys write about it, and that's what we're supposed to believe, while they're missing out very important facts. Not only facts, but also perspectives of the people on all sides experiencing these things, so that we can, as human beings, have a very clear perspective, so that we can see the human in all sides of the equations. And so that we can make choices, within our souls, be able to make choices about what's right and wrong and why.
So Donna, I'd like to get also why, I'm so glad to have the opportunity to have you here. So, from a woman's perspective, what does it look like in a woman's world where this is taking place? In what ways are we probably not realizing it's affecting, women every day.
So many ways. And again, I cannot speak for every woman out there because we all hold our own individual experiences. I can only speak about mine. But one of the more disturbing things that I have learned as a woman, and I think that this might actually encompass all human beings, but I'm going to speak as a woman, my power and my voice. That I have to speak in a way that's digestible for others. And if I speak sweetly, and if I agree and try to pacify people, they will love me and accept me more. That I have to be something other than my authentic self. That I have to keep quiet when things are wrong. Just absolutely wrong. I am supposed to be quiet and I am supposed to go with the flow. Don't ruffle any feathers. If I have an education, it doesn't matter because I'm a woman.
Mm.
It doesn't matter what my experience is. It doesn't matter how rational. It doesn't matter how eloquently I speak. If it ruffles a feather, I'm cut out. I'm silenced. And I'm left with that anger and that rage of having to keep it inside, and that no one cares and that no one is listening.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from other women. Especially from other women.
Really?
Absolutely. There are a number of women out there that have worked hard to be where they are, and I give them absolute credit for what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
How many other women have they stepped on, have they silenced, have they gone against to maintain that status?
Where
To
do you think
maintain that influence?
where do you think that really, that behavior, begins at? Do you think it's fear or competition, scarcity, insecurity? Where do you think that comes from?
I think it is survival. I really
Mm-hmm.
think it's survival. If you're tough enough, if you work hard enough, if you suck it in enough, you're going to make it. But then the authenticity is lost. And the message is lost because you gamble. You give away your voice and what you believe in be accepted.
So, Donna, if I gathered all women of the current generation and all women of the next generation coming in, and I asked you to give a desperate warning and a desperate glad tidings, what would that sound like if you had to give both? You have a limited time, and you have to warn them in a way that's not flattering, in a way that's not dressed, in a way that's not politically correct. Okay, put it on me, the infamous astrologist. Okay, I'm asking you to be,
Well, honestly,
yeah.
what I would have to say is, ladies, get off your asses. Think for yourselves. Don't buy the garbage. Who you are and the power that you hold is yours. You are in possession of the divine spark that we all have. Own that shit. Use your voice, use your power, and never be afraid.
In modern time today, from what you have observed, what are some obstacles? What are the leading obstacles for women's security today, in your observation?
The illusion of support.
Wow. Can you explain a little? It's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, um,
Illusion of
I
support.
know. So, in order to get support, again, you have to conform,
Mm.
or you are lucky enough to have an audience that's willing to listen to you and see the truth in what you're saying. It's really difficult to get that kind of support because when you start saying things that make sense and they run so deeply in contrast with what's being fed to us,
Uh-huh.
it makes people afraid. People are afraid. I think women are afraid of losing what they hold dear, their self respect, their power.
That is self-respect.
To respect yourself is
Mm-hmm.
to be authentic.
Uh-huh.
And if I'm not authentic, if I'm pretending to be someone else, I am not respecting myself at all. I am selling myself.
So, do you see that there's different challenges for the generation that you've come from and the generation of, say, you know, Gen Z?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
What have you observed of, the differences?
Women of my generation,
And what
I'm a
generation would
Generation
that be?
Xer. I'm a
Okay.
Generation Xer.
Okay.
Um, we were raised by our boomer moms,
Mm-hmm.
and the experience of every Gen Xer I've met is we were left feral. We were absolutely left feral. Our moms stayed home. Our dads worked mostly, at least in my community, factory jobs. No need for college education because the factory provided wonderful benefits and really good pay to raise a family. Um, our moms didn't do a lot. They just let us run feral. Um, and then when we got to be teenagers, our moms decided to start working and they said, we can do it all. We don't just bake cakes. We don't just cook. We don't just garden. We go out, we work, we do it all.
Would you say that was a turning point?
I think that there were a number of turning points before
Okay.
that. If you look historically, there were a number of
Okay.
different things that happened
Sure.
um, that kind of made things worse and worse and worse. Um, and what we inherited then was the expectation, we did not want to leave our children at home alone. We wanted to be an active part of raising our children because we knew what it was like not to have that. So we worked and we put our kids in daycare. And then there were all kinds of things happening with daycare where our children were being abused. And we were fed stories about how this was good for our children, that they learned more, that they needed to be ready to enter school with daycare.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened with that. We saw exactly what happened with that, and it continues. So here we are, expected to do it all. And there are some women out there that, hey, if it works for them, fabulous. But there are others of us who know I'll be happy to work when I'm done taking care of my child and making sure that my children have what they need so that they can become adults that think for themselves and they have support from the family.
That's revolutionary. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have that as kids.
Yeah.
And now we've got young women, and I think that there are some cases, not all cases, because I know that there are some not so great parents out there in every generation. But I think that there's some women out there that did a little too much helicoptering, a little too much protection. You have to be this way. This is what's going to get you ahead in the world. But at the same time, I love you and I want you to succeed. I don't think that we're doing a good enough job of listening to Gen Z and younger generations in general. I don't think that
that's a
we're
light bulb.
listening.
That's a light bulb. That's a light bulb. Listening.
What worked for my generation, what works for my generation
Right.
is certainly not what's going to work for them. And what I would love to see is for the older generations, as we watch these young people grow and expand, I think we need to just shut up and hand them the mic. Teach them to use their voice. Teach them to accept who they are at a very, very young age. So that by the time that they are adults, they are ready. They are ready to take on the world. And they are ready to take positions where they can influence others and make this world a much better place than it is today.
So Donna, let me present to you a class of misogynistic, chest beating. I don't want to hear it. Okay, men, right?
Yeah.
We're sitting in the class. We're sitting in the room, and we're here to listen, or to hear what we really need to hear. That we refuse to hear. Donna, tell us what we are refusing to hear, that we just refuse to listen. Tell us the ugly truth of what we just refuse to listen to.
Feminine and masculine work best together. I bring my gifts as a woman. I bring my personal insights as a woman. So bring to me your personal insights as a man and show me. Please show me the reasons that I should ever give my power away to you.
Wow. Show
And
me.
please let me show you how things can work if you can honor the strength I have within myself, the strength that women all have within themselves. Watch the magic happen.
So collectively, that's profound, what you had to say. And I'm glad, we get to record this, so we can, reflect on these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you don't mind sharing. And so,
No.
I'm curious to know, okay, man and woman, we're across the aisle,
Mm-hmm.
and our arms are folded, and we have our grievances and our depths and our quarrels, and from the sisters aisle, what are some things that are noticed from over there that could be, let me see, hindering hindering the trust, hindering the love, to where when you step out in the public, you don't see enough. Well, let me not throw my perceptions out there. When you step out into the public, maybe we would want to see more, holding hands, opening doors, you understand, things of that nature. From the perspective of women, if you could be a voice for women right now, where are we maybe as men not contributing to that experience, or where are we withholding from that experience?
Well, there's a number of ways, and please don't mistake our tears and our emotions as weakness. Sometimes the emotions and the tears are just an abundance of strong feelings that have nowhere to go, because it's not good to just haul off and punch a bunch of people.
Yeah.
As much as you want to, there is a lot of things I think that a lot of women experience in terms of feelings and emotions that are looked at by some men as irrational or as weakness, when actually that is the crank on the well that comes out through her voice. I would say raise your daughters to speak, even the ugly things, and work with us together, men and women. When I need to say things that other people might not agree with, or other people might seem harsh, or maybe they're just based on my perspective because I am angry with what is happening in my life right now, let me speak it. Let me get it out. Let me process it. Do this for your children. Do this for your daughters. Do this for your sisters. Don't look at us as if we're weak because of that. That is where our strength is, in part.
Uh, so Donna, I have to fish. I have to fish a little deeper here with that. Okay.
All right.
Um. So, okay, as husbands, as fathers, as brothers, as citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Are you explaining that sometimes we misunderstand or misread, um, the emotional expressions of women? And
Absolutely. And I
okay,
don't think it's just men. I think we do this to each other.
okay, sure, okay. So, um, here's where I want to get at too.
Okay.
Well, not where I want to get at, but where I want to open my mind, help us to open our minds and absorb what we can learn. Um,
Yeah.
Sometimes I know that men have to learn how to speak womanese. You know, it's a whole different language. Sometimes up means down, down means up, and
Yep.
it's a special language. But what I'm curious about is, do you see ways that if we take our time to decode it and to learn it, how it can improve who we are as men?
Absolutely.
I think I can see how, but I would love to hear your
Yeah,
feedback about it.
I think absolutely. And I think it comes back to authenticity.
Mm,
To my father, to my husband, to my son, to the men in my life that I care about.
mm,
No, I'm not perfect. And sometimes I might come in a little off in my frustration.
mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that I can't walk away when it's too much and come back to you when I've calmed down and say, hey, I love you. You're not the
That's
enemy.
real. That's real.
Yep. You are absolutely not the enemy. I need you, and you're not understanding how to help me. So
Mm,
let me take a minute. Let me gather myself.
mm-hmm.
Let me come to you with love, and let me tell you what I need and what I really mean.
So,
Let me.
Donna, do you think it's possible that the way you're explaining this in a microcosm, that
Mhm.
it also could apply in the macrocosm in society?
Absolutely. If people are willing to allow that instead of picking away at the appearance of what they see, or it just seems like the world is at a point right now where everybody wants to pick each other apart, pick up all the flaws, and then we're going to put the spotlight on all of those flaws, and we are
Mm-hmm.
going to ignore the human.
Ignore the human. Ooh. Ignore the human. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Our society does an awful lot of ignoring humans, doesn't it?
absolutely, absolutely. Um, I'm curious about another thing. Okay, as you're speaking about that,
Mm-hmm.
I've um I've seen and I've heard, a few times in my life where um there are some women out there and men, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Yeah,
I want to hear from a woman's perspective, okay, um,
sure.
where in the aftermath of all of our efforts, the dating, the marriage, love, things like that, whatever the case may be, in the aftermath, there's a great deal of pain of how it didn't go, okay,
Yeah.
and sometimes a person can turn inward and really tear themselves down. you
Yeah.
know, really
Yeah.
say things that are very harmful, you know, to say to yourself.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
might not notice that you're fermenting on those things. Um, where is that woman at? How do we locate where that sister, that mother, that daughter is at in the aftermath of it never seems to go the way that I know it's supposed to, you know, and it hurts a lot. Is it
Yeah.
me? You know, where do you meet that person at? If that person is listening right now, you know, how would you support that person? You know, with if you could, please.
Well, what I would have to say is you do not have to be perfect to be worthy of love, and especially worthy of your own love.
Your own
Forgive
love.
yourself. Forgive yourself. Look at yourself honestly. See those parts of yourself that you didn't like in those situations. Offer those parts of yourself love and understanding. Stop berating yourself. Embrace who you are. Own up to your mistakes. Work to change them, to change yourself for the better of who you know you are on the inside. Some of these things that we tell ourselves are based on conditioning that we've gotten our entire lives. Some things, unfortunately, are not reconcilable. And some things take time to look back at and say, hey, I'm sorry I did what I did. I was really hurt. I'm not that person anymore. And I forgive you for being a part of what happened. I think that if there is love at any point and that love is lost, it's the responsibility of both people to learn from it. Learning is painful. But when we can learn to have that much respect for each other as human beings, to say, you know what, we both are not perfect. Hopefully we both learn from the experience. Hopefully we are both better people for the experience. Now let's raise some good kids despite it.
Donna, do you think that sometimes we quit too soon?
Some people do and some people don't. I myself am on marriage number 3.
Okay. And what would you say marriage means to you?
Marriage is a lot
or
for
even
me.
what you learned from it, you know,
Yeah.
in your experience. What did you learn from it most of all? From marriage, the experience.
Marriage is it's a lot of different things for a lot of different people. From my experience, I can say that I went into my marriages with an absolute open heart, with excitement, with dreams of the future. And of course, they were shared dreams, you know, and somewhere along the way, things happen. You know, for my first husband, unfortunately, he fell into addiction.
Oh, okay.
And he could not get out, and we had a child together, and it did things to his personality, to his behavior. it took him. He's still living today, but he's not doing so well. And unfortunately, there are certain substances that people take that can cause permanent damage to brain function.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, he was taking one of those, and he is never going to be the person that he was. But I feel like I've done my best to set boundaries that I needed to protect myself and protect my son. And those boundaries were based on multiple attempts to try to make things right somehow. My second husband wasn't ready to be married yet. He thought he was, and he wasn't.
Okay.
Some things didn't work out, and we learned a lot from each other. And at the end of that marriage, I can honestly say that that's where I started feeling like a failure. An absolute failure. How can I lose 2 marriages? What is wrong with me? Why can't I maintain a relationship with my husband? Why can't I raise children with a man? What is wrong with me? And it took some time and work to figure out that no, I'm not living authentically. I'm trying to please people.
Wow.
I'm trying to do everything that I can to get through this world. And I'm leaving myself out.
And leaving yourself out.
And I'm leaving my husband out. I mean, how can you be a good partner if you aren't true to yourself? If you're
powerful.
Someone, huh?
That's powerful. Yes. Yes.
I mean, when you're living on, reacting, based on conditioning, what do you have to offer? You can say to your partner, these are where my values lie. And then start to realize when you start acting on that it just isn't, and that you're not able to fill the shoes that you promised to fill. And are you as a couple, or as 2 people that love each other, are you able to bridge that gap? Are you able to be authentic and say, can you still love me?
What is the value of having learned these things? Is every experience worth the wisdom?
It depends on the person. There are some people out there that are going to say, absolutely not. That hurts.
Okay.
To me, though, it's everything.
Okay. Yeah.
It is absolutely everything.
Yes. I'm certainly inclined. I'm certainly inclined, to that. Yeah. Earth is this is a university,
Absolutely.
We came here for learning. We came here to be students, at every second of it,
Yep.
And a lot is justified just in that alone. Not excused, but justified, certainly. That it's experiences, the master teacher.
Yep.
Yes. Wow. So, just curious, okay, from an astrological point of view, what is your ascendant sign?
Leo.
Like to share? Leo. Okay. Same as mine. Okay. I'm a Leo ascendant as well. As a Leo ascendant, and from the point of self-awareness, what have you noticed the leading influences that you have upon other people?
I am like water hitting a deep fryer. I'm not sure why I come off extremely abrasive.
Mhm.
I have a radiation about me where I've worked hard on this to be authentic as possible.
Okay.
And I radiate that, and it rubs most people the wrong way.
Okay. So just to get a perspective here, what is your sun sign? Your sun placement and moon?
I am a Virgo sun
Okay.
and Leo moon. I
Okay.
also have a Virgo stellium.
Wow. Okay. So with a Virgo sun and Virgo stellium, I would think that behind that sun's light, you shine the light, the spotlight on the stain on the boots. You know.
Absolutely, and nobody likes it.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you bring the flashlight of refinement. You know, the flashlight that looks at the corners. Did you dust over here? Did you get behind the bed? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. I got you. You know, that's something. Okay, and energy like that requires us to be willing to step outside of our arrested development.
Yeah.
To appreciate and embrace. You are someone that we have to be looking for, because if we're not looking for that refinement, it can be startling.
Yeah.
And then the feedback, I'm sure at early ages, before you grew into those shoes, the feedback, could possibly, be like, what's wrong with me?
Absolutely.
I didn't mean it, but I couldn't help but notice, you got a piece of lint right there. It's bothering me. Yeah.
And it was, I have to be honest with you, my father was he was an alcoholic. He actually died of dementia from alcoholism.
Oh,
And
wow.
my mother is definitely histrionic personality disorder. It was very hard for me to grow up. I was very much rejected. I was called crazy from a very early age because I could point out things with my parents' behavior that was,
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
I am the black sheep. I am estranged from my family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you accepted now, Donna, that it's your assignment, it's your divine assignment, to bring that opportunity, for whoever is
Yeah.
willing, to embrace and receive it. Have you accepted that, assignment? Have you accepted that that's what comes with being who you are? Do you feel like maybe you take or own, some of that sometimes?
Yeah. In fact, I just um in my spiritual work that I have been doing for a number of years now, it's finally come to me that I'm ready. I don't know if you're into human design.
Human design, explain for us, please.
Human design uses astrology. Um, I'm probably not the best person because I haven't, like, I know my human design, but I'm not.
No, you're the best person.
But
Yeah, best
human
person.
design
Working with
uses
us.
astrology, and it
Hmm.
uses to basically come up with information about who you are as a unique individual. Um, so it works with different systems within the human body as well, like um, your spleen and your solar plexus and your heart. Different
Like
point,
Shatsu.
huh?
Like Shatsu.
I
With,
think so.
yeah, with channels and meridians. Shatsu.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And with part of my design says that I will acquire knowledge in 3 stages, and when I am ready to share is at the age of 56. I'm now 54, and I am in the middle of a huge move to another state, but I've made the decision that once I get to get settled in a different state, that I'm going to start working on spiritual coaching.
Okay.
And I would also love to share different insights that I have with the public.
Great. And in fact, I'm going to get you, to share any, if you want to, ways that persons who may be interested in, connecting with you, learning from you, or even, gaining, some type of support with you. If you could have a way that they can contact you. Okay. Out there, I'm pretty sure someone, could resonate, with your energy, voice, and intentions.
Yeah,
That would be
I
great.
appreciate that. I really
Absolutely,
appreciate that.
absolutely. And so I'm also interested to know the retrograde that we have going on in Leo, Mercury retrograde, Leo. How are you handling that? How are you faring? With
Oh boy. Yeah.
you know.
Hmm. I'll
And
tell you
by the
what
way,
has helped
which
me a
house?
lot.
You said you have Leo in the first house. Is that correct? Right?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. There you go.
This is happening in a very, very personal way.
Okay.
Um, you know,
Feel like
I'm gonna
Frankenstein, huh?
exactly. I feel like um the discomfort that I'm having is some of the experiences of dealing with people, like for my son. um I am the legal guardian of a 28-year-old male, um and trying to get services set up in another state in advance, and some of the response I have from these institutions, um they're really testing. They're very, very, it's just it's difficult to navigate. Um
Hmm.
I have been, absolutely using my voice and my personal power to, like you say, shine the light on the dirty shoes as I'm working on getting things together for my son. And I can honestly tell you that it's not welcome. However,
Okay.
it does not change the fact that I have a responsibility. You don't have to like me, but you have to do what you're supposed to do to help. It's brought up a lot of like it kind of kicks up, that feeling of inadequacy and questions about, is it worth exchanging um time and patience trying to reason with people? Um, or should I, this is difficult. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this well.
Take your time. Sure. Take your
But,
time.
when you're given misinformation about services, for an adult individual that you're in care of, and you know that some of the information you're getting is untrue. However, the supervisor's hat allows them to speak down to you because you are asking for services for someone that is quote unquote in need. Is it worth it?
So, with Mercury being retrograde, how do you see your, what would that be? Virgo 2nd house, right?
Yep.
And Gemini 11th house, correct? Okay. So, how might those two placements be part of some kind of a realization, where we have what we value or how we realize value. And with Virgo, you realize value through efficiency, order, the availability of details, accountability in a sense, wellness or well-being being expressed or procured. And then at Gemini, knowing that communication is a two-way, road where it'll be a fair, an even traffic flow, when it comes to communication, that everybody stops at the stoplight, and goes at the green light, and right a turn or whatever. Everybody read the driver's manual, on communication, you understand?
Just because they read the driver's manual does not mean that they follow what that manual states. Just because there are services available that my son is eligible for does not mean that there isn't some kind of sacrifice that's made in exchange for them. Including, and I realize that there are some good intentions. The problem is that a lot of good intentions, a lot of things that are made to benefit people that need services, they get warped along the way.
Okay.
Different personalities come in with different intentions. Different feelings of about what a human being is worth.
Do you see this evolving to a feedback from you that possibly, heralds in a change, for others who may be going through the same thing?
I honestly, I hope it does. I'm not sure that it will, but I think it's something that absolutely must be presented. It must be out there, so that other people in this situation can take a listen and say, hey, does this resonate with me or doesn't it? Am I seeing this or not?
I see.
And start making decisions. I think my biggest frustration with other human beings in the world is everyone is afraid to be authentic. Everyone is afraid to tell the truth because of the ruffling of the feathers,
Right.
and the personal costs of doing that.
Absolutely. And there we have full circle. Okay.
Yep.
Meaning of where we are. The great return to authenticity, claiming of the true identity, and braving all that it costs, to stand on that hill, where it's most authentic. Last minute, this wonderful, dialogue that we had. We have to do this more often. Okay, if you're open to it,
Absolutely.
got to do this more often. It was a gift. It was a blessing. We all are thankful for it.
Agreed.
Couldn't have had it any other way. So, 60 seconds or less, how can people reach you if they need to connect with you? I'm sure somebody, resonates and, really wants to connect.
Well, my email is the letter O, letter K, the word sunshine, 71@gmail.com.
Okay. All right.
I also have a YouTube page that I'll start adding to hopefully soon,
Sure.
called The Awakened Consciousness.
Okay. Awakened Consciousness. All right. There we have it. I'll try to make sure that I have that down below. Okay. And when I, go to edit, this dialogue, really appreciate your time, and I hope that we get to, do this soon again. Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Have a wonderful evening.
This was wonderful. And
Yes,
again,
it
I
was.
am grateful for the opportunity.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Peace.
Peace.